Response to the video on Revelation's timeline. Disclaimer 2.03 LD. I am a hobbyist hypothetical physicist, an amateur conjectural theologian, and an aspiring philosophical sci-fi fantasy author. This article is not meant to represent speculation about truth nor interpretation of the scriptures, but just a conjecture about the possibility of a particular description of the characteristics of an aspect of reality. Remain supremely skeptical and do not believe, have faith, or trust any of this commentary for any purpose other than purely entertainment and curiosity, only because it is not a religion nor preaching, just a philosophical hypothesis. Therefore, this article does not contain doctrine or dogma. Thus, it cannot be false doctrine or false dogma. The ideas posited and owned by the author of this article are entirely fantasy fictional or science fictional. They are not representations of actual reality or existence, but are only and exclusively abstract philosophical nonsense. Notwithstanding, my philosophy is an incomprehensible, fallacious, nonsensical abstraction called beginlessnessism. Thus, you are forewarned that if you are reading this article in search of truth, beginlessnessism does not contain truth, or in other words, beginlessnessism is incorrect. Consequently, beginlessnessism is not prophecy, nor revelation, nor seership, but is all false. Beginlessnessism aims to become a cinematic universe called the beginless cinematic universe eventually. Beginlessnessism is also known as a meta-religion. Being a meta-religion does not make beginlessnessism a religion, but a philosophy about religion in general. In this response to your video about Revelations, I will point out some obvious things that have not occurred to many people, probably nobody yet. First, I would like to point out that the shape of the number 7 indicates the concept of kneeling. Number 7 is an upside-down L. The shape of a capital L looks like a person kneeling facing the left. The shape of a 7 is a person kneeling facing to the right, upside down. Kneeling is indicative of eternity. The word kneel is knee-L, meaning to shape the knees like the letter L. The shape of the number 7 indicates that the person is upside down, or they could be on their back in hypersleep during eternity. Eternity is not indicative of completion. Eternity is indicative of destruction. Eternity indicates destruction because eternity is shaped like a circle or zero. The Z in the word zero is like a 7 and an L superimposed on one another. So zero, shaped like an O, indicates eternity, in which some people are hypersleeping on their backs in a tomb with their legs up in the shape of a 7, and others are kneeling with their knees in the shape of an L, getting tired and getting ready to go into a hypersleep. The number 8 is the number of completion because, turning it sideways, we get the symbol for infinity. The word seal is indicative of an eternity, meaning see all. So since seals are meant for seeing all, which is only possible in an eternity that is shaped like a 0, which, when circumscribed, reaches a point of déjà vu, where the circumscription started, it should also be the same place that it ended. Therefore, the eternity is depleted of time uniqueness, and must allocate the most outlying event to occur to propagate time from reactive time to inert time. This most outlying event is the destruction of all matter of all kinds, all spiritual matter, all physical matter, and all matter that is comprised of all things, including God. The solution to this destructive force of seals, 7, kneeling, and hypersleep leading to the slow annihilation of the frozen reality of eternity is sever, 8, stilting, and hyper-lucid dreaming, ultimately leading to the culmination of all creation and the finality of all reality, where every particle of reality emits light, or everything, including space, is lit up so that there can be no darkness anymore at all, where even space shines like diamonds in the grand effulgence of reality in her ultimate form. Reality in her ultimate state does not reach a point of déjà vu, and thus reality continues forever and ever and ever and ever, grand scheme déjà vu-lessly. Sever is see ever, which is to say, never see the same thing again, unlike see all, which is seal. Stilting is keeping the leg straight, not kneeling, reminiscent of the shape of eternity, which is straight and not round. In other words, eternity is a crooked path, and eternity is a straight and narrow path. The grand scheme is the 8 spheres and the 4 dice, 2 spheres in each dice. Each dice is composed of eternities linked in chains, linked in 3-dimensional nets of webs of chains of eternities. These 4 dice are created by 4 different kinds of eternities in interstitial space and time. The various kinds of eternities depend upon the active or passive types of time and the active or passive types of space. Active time is called reactive time, and passive time is called inert time. Active space is called warp space, and passive space is called rigid space, which is not warped. The 4 dice are the never, the vacavor, the forever, and the scape. The never dice consists of inert time and warped space. The vacavor dice consists of reactive time and rigid space. The forever dice consists of warped space and reactive time, and the scape dice consists of rigid space and inert time. This hyper-eternity scheme, or the grand scheme, is also called Evernity, which is made of the nets of webs of chains of rings of eternities in the Evers. The Evers are the 4 dice. Also, it is indicated in Genesis in the Old Testament that the earth was created in 7 days, and that the 8th day was used to refine the creation so that it would be properly completed. Below, you will find Genesis 1, as written in the King James Version of the Bible.